Hello screenwriters, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have a new background. I'll explain that in a little bit. If this is your first time watching the channel, my name is Patrick. I'm a screenwriter and I'm also a filmmaker sometimes, and I created this screenwriting app to kind of like help other screenwriters, right? I made a list. I have a lot to talk about, so I want to make sure I don't want to forget anything. And the first thing I want to talk about is some life updates. Now, with the background, as you can see, I'm in a new place now. As a matter of fact, a new country. For some of y'all who remember, I lived in California and now I moved to Canada. Yes, it is a big transition. And as many of y'all know, I love California for the weather and everything else. And it was a big culture shock moving to Canada because the first day I landed, it was a big snowstorm. So I had to make some adjustments. However, that's how it is. Now, as far as why did I move, that's kind of a long story. But let's just say that it was a move that I felt that I had to make. Now, the big news, why I'm making this video. All right, it's been about almost a year in the making. As many of you know, I have the screenwriting app Stratword that's available on the iOS App Store. And now I have a desktop application for the same app. Yes, it took about a year to develop, and it's a long story. I hired a developer and they started working on it, but things got complicated and they got stuck in some parts. Rather than just hiring a whole new developer, what I did was, as many of you know, there's AI out there, right? I took it upon myself. I studied a few things and I finished it myself. Yes. Now, not only does the iOS app exist, now we also have a desktop, because I know a lot of y'all, including myself, you don't want to be restricted with writing your screenplay on just a phone. Now, the desktop application, the website works seamlessly with the iOS app, meaning that you could start a screenplay on your phone, that you could pick it up later at home on your desktop. I'm loving it. As a matter of fact, I have another update that's kind of related to it, which I'll talk about later. And also, we just wrapped up the season 2 of 5 Questions with a Screenwriter. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching it. I had a lot of fun talking with the screenwriters, and I learned a lot by speaking with these screenwriters, because they're at the level that I'm not quite there yet, because a lot of them, they've gotten 9s and 10s on the blacklist, which is huge, right? And so yeah, I want to get to that level. So it was great speaking with them and picking their brain and finding out what screenplays they've read that they think is good. Now tell me, do you want me to do season 3 of 5 Questions with a Screenwriter? If so, let me know in the comments. All right, now what is next for the channel? What's next is, I am excited for this. I am going to be working on my next feature film. It's called Taste. And here's a little synopsis of what's it about. Taste is about up-and-coming hip-hop artist who is a closeted cannibal, right? Now, he wants to make it into the music business, but he's hiding the secret of being a cannibal. He feels that if the secret gets out, then his career will get ruined. I'm having so much fun coming up with the settings and characters. It's amazing. I'm going to be documenting from start to beginning of when I go, meaning that I'm going to start documenting the pre-production stage of this, meaning that as I come up with the story and the characters and things like that, I'm going to be sharing it with you guys. And also too, as I find my crew, location, and actors, that's all part of pre-production. There's a lot more involved, so I'm going to be sharing that with you guys. And also, when I go into production, I'm going to be sharing those clips with you guys. I'm going to show you what it takes to actually produce an indie film. Now, I've done like 3 indie films before, And this one I'm very, very excited about because it's been a while since I did my last film. My last film was back in, I believe, 2012 or 14. So it's been a while. Obviously, I have more experience now, and I'm really excited about this. Especially, a lot of y'all may know, or you may not know, I love hip hop. Right? Hip hop is, I felt that would have been my first calling if I was any good at it. So I get to combine hip hop and screenwriting and filmmaking. Oh, I'm going to have so much fun with this. Stay tuned. I'm going to be documenting pre-production, production, and also post-production. Meaning, okay, after you say it's a wrap, what happens then, right? I'm going to be documenting, okay, how I go about getting an editor or doing the score, film festivals, distribution, all that I'm going to be sharing with this channel. Make sure you stay subscribed so you can see what it takes to go from pre-production, production, and post-production, and ultimately, hopefully, distribution, because, I want to get paid for that. All right, without further ado, I wanted to do a little overview of the new screenwriting web application. Here we go. Now, if you're familiar with the iOS app, this screen will look very familiar to you. So the first thing you do, obviously, is log in. Now, once you log in, as you can see, this screen is very similar to the iOS application. So you should be familiar with this screen. And oh, I love this right here. As you can see, we have a avatar, a picture, because ultimately what I'm going to do eventually, I'm going to open up a collaboration with the web editor, and also kind of like a social media type of thing for screenwriting. So I have so many updates that's coming for this web application. Make sure you log on and you create your account. All right, for the overview. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to my screenplays. All right, now as you can see, like all these screenplay, these migrated over from the iOS app. If you've created a screenplay on the iOS app, no worries. It'll migrate over. You will not lose any of your data. All right. I'm going to create a new screenplay so I could show you. Again, if you're familiar with the iOS app, it's the same interface, right? So let's create a screenplay. Now I like to use Star Wars as my template because I love Star Wars. So we're going to do Star Wars episode 4, A New Hope. All right, then you're done creating title. Now it should take you to the log line. All right, so you're into your log line. Now this is one of the cool things that I really love. You could choose which log line is your favorite. So you just go log line. Let's choose log line 1. Done creating log line. All right, now let's create our characters. All right, now let's create our principal character. All right, then when you're done, you select proceed to the character bios. Now let's create our character bio. All right, now this is one of the cool things I love when I created the iOS app is to write the treatment, because I know most screenwriters, they go straight into the actual screenplay, but me, I need the treatment, right? I need to know what happens in the beginning, the middle, and end before I actually write the actual screenplay. Now, again, you could always skip this, like you don't have to, but this is something I feel it really helps me when I'm writing a screenplay. Now, after you have your beginning, middle, and end, just hit the writing treatment. And then once you do that, bam, here we go. This is the brand new web editor. Now, if you're used to the iOS app, you notice some changes right now. Yeah, we've discontinued the iOS web editor with this new one. Basically, this is a cross-platform. You could do this on your phone or your laptop. Right now, I'm on my laptop. You could do it on your iPad. It works. It works the same everywhere, which is what I love about it. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the features with you so you can see how it works. Now, what you could do is, like, as you can see, this is like too big, so you could kind of like shrink this. So you could go highlight it and go here, then formatting, then font size. Then let's try 20. Yep, that's perfect. There you go. And then, yeah. Now, one cool thing, if you're used to any of the other screenwriting applications like Final Draft, Fade In, or Celtics, or Writer Duet, one of the cool thing is it's called the floating menu. I had to include it in this. If you're on a desktop and you hit return or enter twice or once, then the floating menu will pop up. And as you can see, there's shortcut keys on the screen. As you can see, like S, if you want to write a scene, or A for action. So let's write a quick scene real quick. So I'm gonna use the keyboard to with the shortcut. Now you could also use the menus at the top as well too. However, having the floating menu, it's a shortcut, and it makes you write faster. All right, let's go. Let's see. So I'm gonna select scene, and as you can see, it's like it's pre-populated. If you're used to those other screenwriting applications, then you should know exactly how this works. But if this is your first time writing a screenplay, then some things will pre-populate for you. However, you could always like change them if you choose to. All right, so exterior, let's do that. Oh yeah, one cool thing, as you can see, when I started typing Luke, it already populated because it remembers it from when you created the characters, which is one of the cool things that I like about it. And then as you can see over here at the bottom, it's auto save. So as you type, it's like always saving for you, because things happen, right? Say example, you might walk away, or you might lose your battery or something, right? So it's automatically save everything for you. However, though, you do have like a manual save as well too. So you could go here, save, and as you can see, save successful. It's kind of like a backup save button, but it's auto save. All right. Now let's go through some of the features. I won't go through all of them because a lot of them is self-explanatory. Like example, like bold, like italic, underline, undo, redo. I definitely had to add the PDF. So if you want to, preview PDF, as you can see over here, you could preview it, or if you want to like export it to Final Draft, because I know a lot of professional screenwriters like use Final Draft. So if you wanted to try out Stratword, and then you wanted to export what you've written to Final Draft, there you have it. And you could also export to Fountain, and you could share it via if you want to share. If you have your email set up on your computer, you could like share it via email. All right, and then so as you can see, like these are just like some of the early features that I have. Trust me, there's a lot more coming. So yeah, as you can see, so it has the spell check and do dialogue, formatting, the strike through. You could change the text color. You can change the font style, font size, and then focus mode is basically You know, it's kind of like it blacks everything out, you know, just so that way you can just focus on the actual screen, which is like a cool feature that I love. And then we also have the watermark. You know, if you wanted to like, you know, send it somewhere and then you want to make sure it doesn't get shared anywhere, you could add like a watermark to it. And this you could like hide the pages if you wanted to. Over here you could jump to a particular page, and then the silent cut visual, which is kind of cool. So this feature right here, it just like focuses strictly on the action line, and then no dialogue, right? Because I'm sure you've heard, you know, if you could tell your story with no dialogue, then you're doing something right. So the focus mode is a very, very cool feature. We also have dark mode, which is like a very cool feature. I'm sure, you know, it's very helpful when you're writing at night. Then we have the instant thesaurus, which is a cool feature I like. So if you want to highlight a word, then you go through instant thesaurus. That basically it gives you, you know, some ideas of what the word is. And let me see what else. We also have like a name generator, which is cool. So let's say, you know, start with P, right? And then you want it to be male, like, you know, Paul Matthews. They keep going. It gives you other. This is kind of like helpful if you're having a hard time coming up with names. Those are just some of the like features that we added for launch, but there's a lot more coming. And then if there's any particular feature that you like to see, please let me know. And lastly, you know, if you want a 1-year free subscription of our new web editor, StratWord, you know, again, it works for the iOS app and as well as the web app. Make sure you leave a comment, screenwriter, and then once I see that comment, I'll make sure to reach out and give you the 1-year free subscription. All right, thank you so much for allowing me to share this new update with you. And then, yeah, just subscribe, make sure you like this, and look out for the new videos coming soon. Fade out.
Brainstorm, break it down, make a dream, create a scene with StratWord. StratWord, StratWord.